I have gotten feedback where it's like, you guys don't do anything in here. Like, the kids are just playing, and it's like, no, it goes beyond that.
The skills that kids get to develop in Smart Labs are transferable skills.
Learning how to tackle problems, how to use resources, how to work together. These kids are literally learning the things that they're gonna need when they leave our classroom.
Our kids have an opportunity in Smart Labs to develop those skills, not just in solving problems, but developing the entire process from start to finish and presenting it as part of who they are and part of what they're learning, and they're very proud of it.
They take even their failures home to mom excitedly. They say, Mom, we did this and it blew up or it broke or it whatever. And then they come back the next day with new thoughts.
A Smart Lab can be a place both to succeed and have that support that you need to take on new things, but taking on new things, you're going to fail. So if you're not willing to try and mess up, then you're probably gonna have a really hard time going forward.
I see the Smart Lab filling a gap in experiences. We got to play, we got to explore, we got to make mistakes, we got to fix mistakes, and that's not the world we live in today. And so we haven't offered that in education traditionally over the last 30, 40 years. This is a reintroduction to project-based learning.
They come alive in the Smart Lab and do phenomenal work because it's not based off of maybe what all you've learned or what all you know, but what you can do and create and build.
I think it's seeing their brains go and seeing them learn and seeing them teach one another is a huge thing in education. They're finding things out on their own with their own curiosity.
And we're seeing increases in our test scores. That aspect tells us that we're meeting the needs, but a little bit differently, because kids don't have the sense that they're doing this higher level thinking, yet they are.
They learn not just that there are doctors and lawyers and stuff and like that, but there are so many people that make a corporation run or make a product available or put cars on the market, that there's things that they can tap into that really take their interests. And we know as adults, if you're not interested in it, it's really work. But if you like it, if it's interesting, if it really fulfills something within you, it's a pleasure.
I think it gives them a leg up on being able to communicate effectively to their educator, to their peers, or an employer eventually.
We've got parents that they've got life struggles and very difficult worlds that they live and come from, and they're fired up and excited about their child's education because they're getting opportunities that A, they never had, and B, they look around and they say, other kids aren't getting it, but my kid is. And that anecdotal gives us fuel to fire the no barriers, just possibilities vision that we're living every day. And that's what I'm most excited about.
Traditional education in science only gets better with a STEM lab.
The Smart Lab adheres to its own STEM and technology standards, but I think the power of the Smart Lab is it is truly cross-curricular.
I've seen kids grow and build these skill sets that can then be applied to a wide variety of different things.
It isn't just about whether you can regurgitate something in social studies or mathematics. It's about how you apply it.
We have done projects with the reading teachers. We have done projects with the science teachers. Students have taken data that they've created in the science lab, brought that into the STEM lab, and turned it into an animation-ish video. When they can do that, they find that their data, their information is so much more meaningful to them. They really enjoy using it.
It gives them the opportunity to really take ownership of their learning, which is what education is supposed to be.
One thing that I've noticed about SmartLab is it is very student-led. you end up seeing those natural leaders arise. With those types of students who are getting it quicker, that's when there's certain lessons in the project starters that will allow for them to either continue on where the project is supposed to stop for everyone else. SmartLab has done this really cool design called Extend Yourself, where you can continue to do different projects along the lines of what you were doing before, but let's ramp it up a little bit. And I've had to do that for certain kids and certain partnerships because they're like, we're done. And I look over and it's perfect. But I'm like, okay, we still have 2 days. How about let's try this Extend Yourself version? And they get after it, but it allows for those students who it may be 4 people in your class, it may be 1 person in your class, it may be 10 people in your class who are just that advanced. It fosters their learning as well to grow and accelerate all their types of different ways that they're already thinking, and pushes them to go forward and learn more.
What personalized learning looks like in SmartLab in our district is kids want more. They want more. It's pretty impressive to have high school students come to the superintendent and say, can we get another hour of this?
This is different. Like, this is not a normal classroom. This hands-on, student-led, project-based class, this is the future of education.
It's completely different than anything you have probably ever experienced. It is student-led, and it gives them the opportunity to really take ownership of their learning, which is what education is supposed to be.
We've had a lot of partnerships with our local universities, like East Carolina University's one. We had an engineering professor come and tour just to show him what we have. And he looked around and he was seeing, oh, this thing you have here, my college juniors do the exact same thing. And then we had an engineer who come in from the Netherlands, and he works on bridge design specifically, like building bridges and fundamentals and like security. And he came in our SmartLab and he was like, I did that when I was in grad school. And it's more of problem solving. So I tell the students, once you graduate high school and your car light comes on, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna like freak out and not do anything? They're like, well, I'm gonna try to figure out what it is. Bingo. It changes the mindset. My first set of students are now sophomores and juniors in college. I'm starting to see from their professors about how like you're different than the rest of these students. So it's not necessarily anything I can say, but you gotta see it, right? Once you see it, you'll know.
We've got parents that they've got life struggles and very difficult worlds that they live and come from. And they're fired up and excited about their child's education because they're getting opportunities that A, they never had, and B, they look around and they say, other kids aren't getting it, but my kid is.
I think that's a really powerful thing, especially for minorities, for people of color, for women. We've noticed that we've had students come back and say, you know, I never even realized that it was not normal for me to be interested in these topics, not normal for me to have experience coding in middle school.
It gives every kid the opportunity to see themselves as something beyond what the stereotype or the box is telling them to be. We have a very high free and reduced population, a very high Hispanic population, and then you throw in the fact that half of our kids are girls, and you have a bunch of people who are underrepresented in STEM fields, and they're seeing themselves as somebody who's going to step in and research something or invent something or a mechanical engineer, when the box tells them, well, you're going to be a hair cutter, you're going to be a barber, you're going to be a beautician. It opens up those fields to people who are going to change the world, and I'm excited about that for our kids. I get the opportunity to teach kids really important life skills. These kids are learning some things that they can use, whether they're an Uber driver or whether they're a doctor.
I'll often say to the kids, where might you use this in the real world? I do that right in the SmartLab. I'll say, who might use Photoshop? What kind of jobs would use Photoshop? And how is it going to impact their job and make people's lives better?
We're not there to take full control. So in a sense, it gives them a bigger responsibility where if they're not working together, the project's not going to move forward. It's teaching them those skills that, hey, in order for you to be successful and for you to thrive off of these projects, you need to work together. It's all essential skills that they are learning for life and in the classroom.
The SmartLab's completely changed teaching for me. It really has changed the way I think about what middle schoolers can do and the direction that we can go with the lab and how creative they can be. The personalized learning that students can experience when a student finishes one project, they can request the next project.
I think too of just giving those kids the opportunity, they'll gravitate to what they enjoy. And then at that point, it's just you going, okay, like, let's kind of refine what you're thinking.
Like, what's your idea? And they're like, one of the ideas is, I want to make a pneumatic device out of cardboard that's a hand, that you press the levers and it picks up things. I'm like, go for it. And they did it, and it was successful.
By exploring these different avenues, they might have a common thread between them. They're able to identify their own strengths and work to enhance their own skill sets so that they can then go out into the real world and get jobs with these future-forward skills that are only going to be more in demand going forward.
In a SmartLab, you're getting exposed to things that many people in our culture aren't. Social emotional skills that I get to teach in a way that's very hands-on and very engaged.
I talk to them often. When you're an adult and you decide what you want to do with your life, you will work with people that you don't get along with. And so if a partnership isn't working out, I really try hard to not split those kids and say, hey, we're going to work through this and we're going to problem solve and I'm going to help you, but this is life. And I want you to learn these skills when you're young.
What's great about the SmartLab is that it celebrates these failures because from those failures comes these amazing learning experiences.
Project-based learning gives them an opportunity to go, this isn't working, what do I do? And the freedom to fail on the last day of a project and go, I tried real hard, and that's what's important, gives kids that opportunity as they grow to realize if I'm putting in my best effort, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
CLS and SmartLab were STEM before STEM was cool. You can't just throw Legos together and call it STEM. The curriculum is what drives it and makes it different.
They have so many tools already embedded in their curriculum that I can go in there and I can look and see exactly what standards this particular project is hitting.
There's a connection, there's a purpose, everything has an objective. The content standards and the curriculum, it's all aligned.
I have a lot of teachers that are actually coming to me and asking me if they're able to use some of this stuff in their classroom because their kids want more. And it is so relevant to what they are doing. We have on my wall this sign that says learning is different here. And when we have people that are coming into the STEM lab, we always tell them that it really is different.
There's just so many things that you can do with a SmartLab. There's station rotation going on. It's blended learning because they're all working in groups. They're doing different things together.
I think the kids are able to be independent. They have so much voice and choice that they can say, oh, I want to learn about this. Here's what I'm going to do.
They see the launch pad, they see ideas, and it generates ideas for them. And they're like, I want to go beyond that.
It's really just they take it and run with it and create it into something that they love and enjoy.
They get to choose. They get to see what's comfortable for them. They may be doing robotics at one island and they're doing circuitry at another one, and the other one is making music. They see things and they're doing things that they can't believe they can actually do in school. So it does seem like fun, but they're really learning at the same time.